All right, folks, welcome to our Thursday night series in the iNRS Racing Series. Tonight we are in Michigan for the Firecracker Casino 200. Thanks for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. I'm Rick Souza here with John DeRudris, my booth compadre. And John, this is Michigan, and this should be a lot of fun for these drivers.
Yep, we are in Michigan, and it is going to be a fast-paced race tonight. One of the fastest tracks that these iNRS series drivers go to, and that's going to mean a lot of action here in the Michigan area here. You know, these cars are going to be rocking around this track, and we got about 5 minutes left to practice, seeing who's been able to top the board right now, none other than the Jordan Booth at the top with Jordan Winsel in third. But look at some of these names up there at the top. Ron Fitting in seventh, Matt Perusini in P2. You have Garrett Walden as well there in P4. Brendan Hayes, a familiar name. And then Jacob Musso in the top 10. So you may have some surprises. And as we are now inching ever so close to the playoffs, let's talk about your top 10 in points. Jordan Booth still is at the helm of the lead with Jordan Winsel in second, Corey Bunch in third, Alex Murphy in fourth, Vernon Broadbeck in fifth, Tyler Lemon sixth, Michael Whitley in seventh, Alex Forget in eighth, Eric Jeffers in ninth, and Jacob Musso there in P10. And so there's a lot of battles to keep an eye on as we enter the third to final race before the championship starts and the playoffs starts. So Corey Bunch, he's closed within 16 points of second place of Jordan Winsel and built a 65-point gap between him and Alex Murphy. Murphy is right now is at his own battle with Mr. Vernon Broadbeck, only sitting 7 points behind him. Eric Jeffers, you know, once a driver we thought was going to fall out of the playoffs, sits a mere 2 points behind the 8th place driver of Alex Forget. And then there's a battle at the cut line. Japs, Burns looking at another head-to-head battle going into this race. But don't let that distract you from Joseph Musso. Matt Perusini there right now, currently sitting in P2 on the charts in practice, waiting in the shadows for a chance to really strike and possibly get that win to lock them in. Also want to note that after tonight, Alex Murphy will be locked into the playoffs even without a win. Barring terrible runs and a new winner, Michael Whitley and Eric Jeffers will likely lock themselves in tonight too. So we have some points that are going to come into play that could potentially lock a lot of these drivers in. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But right now, top three in team standings, Full Throttle number one, Roadrunner number two, and 40 XLI sitting there in third in the team championship.
Yeah, so continue some great battles. Again, we talked about drivers currently locked into the playoffs. You just got pretty much 9 who have punched their ticket in to the playoffs. That leaves 10th through 16th open for business. So we saw Ty Bostic was at the cut line last week. Now he's moved up to 14th. Matt Robinson's now there. Tony Japs, Vince Burns, that's all at the cut line. They're all within striking distance. Joseph Musso could there as well.
Absolutely. And so, with that being said, let's talk about currently who's hot. So Jacob Musso, he's good. Back-to-back top 10 finishes of the 25. Just needs to maintain what he's been doing. Joseph Musso, the Musso brothers are great there with cracked into the top 16. 2 out of the 3 finishes inside the top 10 as he looks to continue to put the heat on the battle between Japs and Burns. And Vernon Broadbeck has continued his top 10 streak at Richmond, now up to 8 in a row. And that's a big momentum shift. Thinking about these drivers and momentum and carrying into the playoffs, you need top 10s, you need top 5s. And Vernon's been able to do a great job as he potentially could make a playoff run here in about 3 weeks. And while Burns and Musso are turning up the heat, it unfortunately seems like Mr. Tony Japs is having some issues keeping that flame lit. He has 3 finishes outside the top 15 in 5 races, and the driver of the 42 is going to need 3 good weeks to outlast the 55 of Vince Burns and the 28 car. Those are 2 big names that he's going to have to battle throughout the rest of this season. Musso and Burns aren't going to give him any gap. A driver locked into the playoffs but struggling as of late is Tyler Lem with no finish inside the top 10 since Loudon. He looks to get back on track and not carry a slump into Atlanta in 3 weeks. Finally, just because it's uncharacteristic, it hasn't happened in 9 races. Jordan Booth is on a 1-race skid, finishing outside the top 10 in Richmond in 15. So, I mean, Jordan's going to come back. But I don't think it is going to be the crack in the armor, but it could be the crack in the armor for the 41. But
I don't
you know
know.
what? We'll see what happens.
He's put up the fastest time of the night. So
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. One bad finish, and lack of better terms, people are like, oh my gosh, all hell's breaking loose in the 41 camp. Who knows what's going to happen? But no, he's good. He's locked in. He's going to be at the top of the boards by the end of this race tonight. So watch out for that. So right now, looking at this, Rick, who was good last year at this track? Or who's been good at this style of track, rather?
yeah, so last year Vince Burns ran extremely well here, bringing it home P3. So look for the 55 to be back up front. He's already let's see, where's he currently now? Vince Burns. Just looking to see if he's cracked. Right now, his times right now in practice aren't there, but hey, we'll give him that opportunity. In fact, I'm just double checking the roster. Do we have Vince Burns tonight? Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
We do. Yep.
Yep. So I don't think he's turned a whole lot here yet. So we're looking for Vince to do something, show something tonight. Also, at the same time, other than the big three, Jordan, and Bunch, also Bostic has done well. We'll see how he does tonight at this race.
Absolutely. Right now, talking about some rivalries, not really much going on. Maybe something between the 43 and the 55. We'll see what happens. I mean, again, this is the high-speed track. A lot of drivers will side draft here, and that could produce some issues. So we'll see how that plays out as this race unfolds. Right now, qualifying underway for the Firecracker Casino 200. We're about to see how this plays out as we're looking at Mr. Jacob Musso.
Bringing up that speed, this is Michigan. We used to, in the old cars, we used to see speeds here of 220 miles an hour coming off these straights. That's a days old on this track.
Absolutely, it is.
All right, so why don't we talk about just what the conditions are here tonight? Let's kind of cover that.
For sure. So here in the Firekeepers Casino 200, you have a lovely mid-70s degree day, but that track temp is creeping up about 106. 100 laps, stage break at lap 33, a third of the way through. One quick repair, 5 sets of tires, 60% fuel, and 3 green-white checkers here at this 2-mile, very technical track. You have to really think about your corners, how much gas you're giving it, your throttle control, your brake control, depending on where you are on the track, and your braking points, because it's not just full throttle the entire time. It's very different, especially when tires start to give way. Right now, currently, my lovely calculations in my head says that they can go anywhere between 24 to 26 laps. That is my estimate. Obviously, the draft is going to play a factor in that, as well as if we may see some drivers short pit or if some drivers have issues. So we'll see how that plays out. But right now, looking at qualifying, we are about halfway through, and halfway through, we have a very interesting top 5. I'm not going to say it just yet because it can change in a second, but we may have a new pole sitter.
Yeah. Right there.
There it is.
Changing by the minute. So Michigan is one of those tracks where, and when you look at the big tracks like Daytona, Talladega, your fastest lap is your first lap.
Absolutely, it is, and that's where
Michigan's a little bit different. I think Michigan is your second lap.
Yeah, for sure, and a track this big, you have to pay attention to that and know where you are, and also make sure you hit your marks. And I think hitting your marks here at Michigan is going to be vital to winning this race. A lot of keys that are going to be involved in this one. But, right now, looking at where this lineup is going to be, we have some pretty big names up here. The top 15 separated by just 0.2 of a second, 0.25 to be exact. The entire field separated by about 0.4 of a second right now. So we'll see if those gaps start to increase just a little bit. But let me tell you, Rick, this is very close on qualifying. I mean, very, very tight.
Well, qualifying's wrapping up in just about a minute. We'll see how it all plays out. Just Garrett Walden, I think, is still out on the track.
Just getting some practice laps in.
Yep, Ron Fitting is out there. Got a couple of drivers who are queued up but have not gone out yet, but they need to get going.
Oh, yes, they do.
So right now we've got 29 entries for tonight's race. You're watching Garrett Walden on the track. Finishing up his qualifying. I think that's pretty much going to do it for those drivers who are on the track now. So as this session winds down for qualifying, the drivers will move into a 5-minute session. They could choose to practice, but they typically hold a driver's meeting, so we'll let them talk about that, and we'll cover John's keys for tonight's race in a minute or two.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan. And, thinking about this race, I would agree with some of the things we've spoken about before we went live, but I think track position is going to be key. Where would you like to start in this race? I mean, would you like to be in the front? Would you like to be in the back? Do you think it's going to be chaos on the start? Where would you like to be if you were in this field tonight?
I'm thinking I would definitely want to be inside the top 10. I think this is going to be a mix of, anytime you can stay up in the pack, you give yourself an opportunity. If you've got to claw your way back up through 29 competitors to make it back up to the front, all the while trying to figure out your pit strategy and your timing and your partners, that's a lot to think about. That's way more than my mind can handle after a long day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's key. You got to have track position, and that's number one. Track position is going to be so important here tonight, and it's going to be something that you are going to see play a factor, because if you get caught up in the back and lose the draft, you really got to focus on trying to catch that, and you may see yourself in a situation you don't want to be in, and that's where this could lead into pitch strategy. Pitch strategy number 2 is my second key for the race, making sure you're pitting with a group of cars. A group of cars here is going to run faster than a single car, and even if it's just for 5-10 laps and everybody separates based off of how tires are running and how the specific wear is going to go, you have to have somebody around you. You're going to lose way too much time. So that's number 2. And third, this ties right into that teammates. Focusing on if it's manufacturer, thinking if it's, about your other teammates, looking at some of the board right now. I see some teammates that are going to be side by side. Some teammates are going to be nose to tail. And some teammates are not going to be anywhere near each other. So it's going to be a battle to try to get your teammates around you. So if something happens at the end of the race, you have some people in your corner that you're able to be like, hey, push me, buddy. I want to get to this win, and let's advance as a team. So teammates are going to be big. It's not just about the Drivers' Championship, too. It's about the Team Championship, and we'll see who's able to top the boards tonight at Michigan. Rick, with 3 races to go, we know things are going to be pretty hairy.
Oh, absolutely, they are. Especially for those guys who are sitting outside that playoff run. I'm at the cut line. They've got no choice but to win to get in. So there's definitely some desperation for those guys who are outside of that cut line. For those guys on the cut line, you're trying to keep yourself distance from the closest guy who's looking at you to say, he needs to be right there to take you out. So, yeah, I am. You're gonna have your head on a swivel tonight, knowing who's around you and where they're at and where you are in relation to where you need to be if you are above that cut line. For those below, game on.
Absolutely.
Well, John, we've got just under 2 minutes before we go live. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Let's see, and we'll be right back for the grid of the Firekeepers Casino 200.
Our mission at Coastal Financial is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals, with the aim of empowering our clients to make informed financial decisions and achieve their financial potential. Our focus is providing the highest level of service to our clients, including successful business owners, professionals, and nonprofit organizations. Our commitment is to helping you improve your financial position, reach your financial goals, and safeguard your family and business. Our goal is to provide you with the resources and guidance necessary to accomplish these objectives. Our process utilizes a thorough and exclusive financial analysis, efficient implementation of recommendations, and continual reevaluation of fluctuating dynamics. You can find us at coastalfinancial.com or on Facebook at Coastal Financial.
All right, welcome back to Michigan for the Firekeepers Casino 200. Thanks for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. We are just about 15 seconds until we get the starting grid for tonight's race. We thank you for tuning in. We know you have a choice on your Thursday night as to what you want to do, and we appreciate you spending your time with us here. All right, that 5-minute warm-up time is officially over. Flagman says, okay, here's what that's going to look like at the end, and let's get this started. All right, let's bring up our grid.
Let's do it. See who's on pole for tonight's Firekeepers Casino 200 in the iNRS Series. 3 races to go before we get into the playoffs at Michigan Speedway today. Beautiful day. Field is making their way onto the grid, and here it is, your starting lineup for tonight's Firekeepers Casino 200, presented by the iNASCAR Racing Series, brought to you by the IWM Broadcast Network. Michael Whitley Jr. on pole with his teammate Eric Jeffers to the outside in second place. Jordan Booth starting in third. Garrett Walden starting in fourth. Brendan Hayes starting in fifth position with Matt Pirusini to his outside starting in sixth. Corey Bunch starting in seventh with Tyler Lim starting in eighth. Richard Mills starting in ninth, and rounding out your top 10, Austin Walton.
Jacob Musso is in 11th with Matthew Robinson to the outside in 12th. In 13th, Martin Giroux. And 14th, Alex Forget-Berube. In 15th is Ty Bostic with 16th position filled by Simon Magin in the 46. Corianis is in 17th, Joe Musso in 18th, Alex Murphy in 19th, and Merton Broadbeck is in 20th.
In 21st, you have Tony Jeffs. In 22nd, Scott Thomas. 23rd, Clark Franz. And 24th, Martin Pinnell. Starting in 25th, you have the Jordan Wenzel. Surprisingly, all the way back there in 25th. Dan Hughes starting in 26th. Vince Burns in 27th. Nick Alves in 28th. And the only car to not make qualifying time starting in 29th is Ron Fitting.
All right. Field is assembling and the pace car lights are off. So that means as we come to the start finish, we will go to Green Flag Racing here at Michigan. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We appreciate it. We're looking forward to this one. I think this is a fun race. I love this track.
No, it's a great race. I think this is a under appreciated track. I think there's a lot of good racing here that will unfold tonight, and just be on the lookout for possibly a surprise winner. You never know what's going to happen here in Michigan. So excited to see where this race is going to go. Pace car dips down, and Michael Whitley Jr. on the pole for tonight's Firekeepers Casino 200. They're about to enter the Geico restart zone, and we are Green Flag Racing from Michigan.
Already some tight racing on that restart. See the 41
Three
of Booth.
wide. Already
Jumped out.
3 wide, going to 1. Oh boy.
I mean, Michigan's so wide you can do it, but it's on these cold tires, it's going to get super slippery to be 4 and 5 wide.
And we're already wrecking the 24 Paracini coming back up the track into the, can't tell what car that was. Still green, but there's a big stack in the back. But now the 40 car, Brendan Hayes falling all the way back. Well, there was some chaos on lap 1.
Jeepers. What happened to Brandon Hayes?
I think he got flipped and had to go down the bottom side of the track, and now he's all the way in the back. Good thing it happened on lap 1 and not lap 99. We do have a stage break coming up here in about 31 laps.
Back up front, you've got Michael Whitley Jr. is out front, but he's got the 41 of Jordan Booth all over his tail. 12 of Eric Jeffers to the outside, and got Garrett Walden, Tyler Lem, all there. That's your top 5.
Yeah, the top 5 have separated from this field, and we'll see how this plays out.
You know, that's only because of that little incident on the start, but you know, the way that these guys are racing up front, if that pack gets organized, they'll catch up to them pretty quick.
Oh, 100%. That pack is going to catch up. It's just a matter of time, for sure. Oh, caution in the back. Car spinning in the back stretch in the middle against the safer barrier. Looks like that possibly could be
Vernon Broadbeck and Jordan Wenzel.
Oh, boy. Playoff contenders having issues. And, Rick, that's exactly what I was talking about. You don't want to get yourself caught up in the back. Oh, man. That was...
It's like the 81 just came up.
I thought the 10 come down, or did the 81 come up?
Let's look.
Did the 81 come off the wall? Yeah, let's take a look at this.
10 goes
So
up high.
So he took the Ayrton Senna quote to heart. It almost, I'm trying to see his reference point to the wall. It almost looked like the 10 slowly went lower just a little bit. And maybe the 81 came up as well at the same time. I'm watching his right side in correlation to that safer barrier.
That's a better shot.
As we have this, cars are on pit road.
Yeah, I think they're both going for the same spot.
Yeah, I think it was a odd racing deal, but everybody's on pit road except for a handful of cars. Interesting strategy here. Early on, you have about 9 cars who stayed out. The rest came down pit road.
Yep, that leaves Matthew Robinson out in front. Again, your top 9 did not come in. They must know something we do not know.
Yeah. I mean,
because
they maybe think...
conventional wisdom on these types of tracks is when there's a yellow, you go in. Whenever there's a yellow,
correct.
Go in. All right,
I think we could.
Go ahead.
I would say I think we could see some drivers who think they can make it till the stage break, and some drivers who just want to guarantee that they can make it to the stage break.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out. I mean, obviously the field is going to be a little bit flipped now with the leader starting back in P10, but again, we're 5 laps in, so anything can happen. It's still a long race.
All right, stage break at 33, so 27 laps away, 25 or so by the time we go back to green flag racing. Matthew Robinson will be our control car, and he will have Martin Giraud to his outside. Curious to see how it's going to wind up with these drivers who are, really, if you look at it, most of these drivers who are now in the top 9 started at least 10 or 12 deep on the pace lap. I mean, on qualifying, and some that 15, 17, 20 back. So they'll be competing with those guys who started up front.
It's going to be a wild restart. I know that for sure. We'll see. I don't know if tires are going to make a big difference, but we're about to find out. We are about to find out as the pace car rounds turn 4 right now. Matthew Robinson and Martin Giraud, your leaders. Matthew Robinson, the control car there on the inside line. They're about to enter the Geico restart zone. And green flag back in the air here at Michigan. A little bit more of an orderly start at the front. Still got 3 wide again.
Jordan Booth dropping right out.
Yep, we saw what happened the first time. Will we see a repeat? Oh, the field stacks up a little bit in the back. The 43 goes low. And we're back to 3 wide.
4 wide, 5 wide.
You can do it. Now, will you make it? That's the second question to that. Can you do it? Yes. Should you do it? Yes, no, depending on who you are. Will you make it? Big question mark. No car sliding up. We have 2 cars make contact in the back. 4 wide as we get to the back of the pack here. All the way in the back. 3 wide as well. Cars all over the place here at Michigan.
Most of those drivers who went in on lap 4 for this past yellow took only fuel.
So tires should be all the same. So we'll see how Michael Whitley is able to work his way through this field.
Already back up to 6th.
Yeah, but he's got Jordan Booth right behind him, though. That Jordan Booth guy, he knows how to get around a racetrack. So we'll see what he's able to do here.
Coming up on Nick Alves and Richard Mills. Oh, big move.
Into the wall.
Spinning.
We're wrecking. Big wreck in the backstretch. Big wreck on the backstretch. Multiple cars involved. Oh, boy. 94 caught that one live. Caution number 2.
Let's go back and see just what happened to Michael Whitley there. He jumps up to get around the 13 of Nick Alves, putting him right into the crosshairs with the 41 and a bit of contact. But at these speeds, unfortunately, he comes back down. There's contact with the 13. More contact with the 41.
Yeah, the 41 just kind of got
Three
that
is
there.
spinning, 20, 27.
Yeah. Everybody trying to split the gap. Hard hit there for I think the 43 gets into that there.
43 does get a taste of the tail end of the 13. All right, we are back under caution here, lap 10.
No bueno. Looks like we have a EOL penalty to the 43. And he also has a meatball flag. Not great. It means he has a lot of damage and he has to come down pit road no matter what. Tough break for these guys early on, Rick.
Yep, looks like here we are back under caution here, John, for the second time tonight. That little bit of a dust up. You do have both Michael Whitley on pit road trying to get some repairs made. Again, no quick repair. That means you got to fix it. You have to drive what you got until you can't. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in tonight to the IWM broadcast of the Firecracker Casino 200. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome to the New York Pizzeria in Cato, New York. The New York Pizzeria has been bringing Central New York the best meals and snacks in the business for generations. Located at the four corners of State Routes 34 and 370, the New York Pizzeria is easy to find and impossible not to love. Aside from delicious pizza served to go or in-house, the food is always fresh and made by the local and talented staff. The New York Pizzeria prides itself on dishes including always fresh pizza by the pie, slice, or sheet with all the topping options you could want. The one-of-a-kind Jenny Wings. A mild, sweet and sour take on traditional bone-in or boneless chicken wings. And fresh-to-order garlic cheese bread, chicken parm subs and a prime variety of cold beverages. Do yourself and a legendary local business a favor and have what is truly one of the originals. The New York Pizzeria, order today.
All right, welcome back to the IWM broadcast of the iNRS Racing Series. Tonight we are at Michigan. We are 12 laps in to our 100-lap event. We had a couple cautions tonight.
And it looks like the caution has been extended 1 lap. Trying to figure out why. But looks like we are not going to go green this time by. We're going to go green next time by.
All right. Fortunately, our pole sitter, Michael Whitley Jr., got caught up in a little bit of an incident as they were working their way back up. They had gone in for some fuel in anticipation of extending to the stage break coming up at lap 33. And unfortunately, there was a collision between himself and the car of Nick Alves, the 13 car. Is there somebody in the grass, John? What was that all about?
Yeah, whoa, who is in the grass? I hear Martin Giroux keying up. Is that the 43 of Garrett Walden? And he just disappeared.
Yeah, I don't see him. He is grayed out on our screen. Looks like he's coming down sideways.
That's not ideal.
It's like he's crab walking.
I mean, it doesn't, it may have some aerodynamic advantages, but you're not going to be able to turn the car very well. Let me tell you that.
I don't get that. That's an odd. I'm just looking for a different camera angle, something that would tell us what happened to him. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. But he is definitely crab walking.
I don't see any damage. That's very odd. Well, we'll just have to see how it all flies out here as we get back to our field. Lights are off on our pace car. Something happened to him. I just don't know what it was.
I don't know either.
I mean, you expect to see that when someone's hit the wall pretty hard. They broke a toe link or something, but there's nothing to show that.
No, not at all. Not a thing. Which is the weird part. But, well, we'll figure it out. Hopefully he's able to get back in and battle for some points here, but that's not going to help his playoff battle at all. As we go back to green here, Matthew Robinson still at the point, and green flag back in the air here at Michigan. A little bit more orderly in the front of this pack. We'll see how that shapes up going into turn 1. 3 wide already. We've already seen this be a little treacherous. 3 wide into 1. Hold on to her, boys. Cars squeeze off the corner. Oh, a little bit of contact.
Most of these guys are all on the tires they started with, so it's only been 14 laps.
It has only been 14. Oh, got some side, some contact there with the 46 of Simon Madgen getting into, I believe that was the
41.
That was the 41 of Jordan Booth. More 3 wide action as the field now breaks into, car on the wall.
A lot of guys are a little out of shape for sure. I think Richard Mills as well up front, but a little sideways a bit as he came through that.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
3 and 4 wide as we work our way through the front stretch here in Michigan. Good battles going on throughout the field. See the 40 of Brendan Hayes back there. He's sitting back currently in 17th.
Yeah, there's a lot of big battles going on. 3 wide again as we make our way out of turn 4 in the back of the pack. Some fierce battles going on now.
Back at 10th, we've got Aaron Jeffers back there in a pack of cars, all battling for position. I just caught the side of my eye. I was watching, this is inside with the 12. You can hear he's out of the throttle. Really having to work that wheel.
He is. Well, Rick, we're 4 wide behind them. They are 4 wide at the back of the pack, trying to make it through. That's going to be treacherous going into turn 1. Can they make it? And they are still side by side. Huge pack of cars now. What I'm worried about is these cars sliding out of turn 2. If somebody's going to slide up a little bit too far,
continues to work his way up. He's now up to 13th as he tries to reclaim his original start, which is somewhere around 5th. But another big mover right in front is the 55 of Vince Burns. Vince started in 27th position. He is now up to 10th.
Wow.
Simon Madgen and Jordan Booth continue to battle. They're swapping that position. That's for 4th. Right behind, they've got the 77 of Corey Bunch. He's trying to find a way around and through. Whoever said you couldn't pass here in Michigan hasn't seen a race like this.
I was thinking it's going to be a little bit more racy than I thought it would be, as we thought, because think about these cars, think about the draft, think about the stakes. It's going to be some close racing, and the passing is going to be, can be, abundant now when we have pit stops. Oh, contact right there between the 41 and the 50.
For lap 21, this is like way more spicy than I would have anticipated.
I agree. Is that 46 going to try to shoot the gap? He is not. He's going to try to get that draft off the back of the 50-50. Gets a little loose there on alongside the 41 of Jordan Booth. And the draft is so big here that it is going to change the momentum of these cars, and you're going to see 3 and 4 wide action.
Matthew Robinson's done a pretty good job of staying out there up front. He's got the 99 of Tyler Lem right there. Now Tyler Lem slips under in the side-by-side. That's going to allow those guys behind to find their way up to them, and really, as we get within 10 laps of that stage break, it's time to make a move.
It definitely is. And this is like we said, the racing that Michigan is going to produce. If you go side by side, you are going to lose a lot of time, especially to the people that are behind you. So looking and seeing where everything is at the current moment, Jordan Booth trying to make his way up to the front of this battle now on the inside line. Matt Robinson still up front, but Tyler Lem now trying to keep his second place position.
Booth is looking to find a way to get around. Gets a good run out of the 4.
Yeah, but that draft is going to pull that 99 right to the back doorstep of that 1.
Slips way up. It almost winds kind of stalling out that high line, bunching up that entire line.
He's definitely doing that, and we're seeing some 3 wide action, potentially even some 4 wide action right now. Coming out of turn 4, there it is.
You know, the 81 who was involved in that incident back there, no worse for wear. Jordan Wenson, is now up to 9th.
Yeah, I mean, it's a testament to that driver and that car. So we'll see what he's able to do as the gap is shut there right in front of the 12. The 12 not probably too happy with the 5. You never know. Maybe that was planned.
Well, that's
maybe it wasn't.
Richard Mills, he's currently showing in 7.
We will see, but we are now inching ever so close to the stage break. 7 laps away as the 41 now solidifies his spot into second place. Will he take the lead? He's going to try to get a run, cross down the bottom part of the track, get a run out of turn 2. He might be there. Coming out of turn 2, he is there.
Don't forget the 77, though. Corey Bunch has found a way. He's looking to who he's going to latch onto. He was up high with Matthew Robinson, dropped down to tag on with the 41. 41 gets around Matthew Robinson to take over the lead at lap 26.
Only took 26 laps. Not too bad.
Well, he's not going to hold on to it long. The 1 has figured out a way. He's trying to get around him.
And there is some nose damage on the front of that 41 car.
Yeah, there is. He may run better with another car in front of him.
He might. It may just be acting like a parachute right now, which is common.
Right, lap 28 in the books. Lap 29 coming. Just 4 laps away from our stage break.
Side by side again. Out of turn 4. Now just 4 laps away from the stage break. Keep in mind, all these drivers are still on that old set of tires, and looking at the lap times, they've only fallen off about a second. So 1 second fall off, not too bad. Everybody basically the same.
Big battle now with Corey Bunch.
Yeah.
Worked his way up into second. Now he's right on the tail of Jordan Booth as they battle for stage points with just 4 laps to go.
I can imagine this pack is going to close into these leaders probably right about now. I think people are going to be like, you know what, I need to make my way up to the front. And they want to try to get as many stage points as possible. All right, now just 2 laps until the stage break at the end of lap 33. Out front, Jordan Booth, Corey Bunch, Tyler Lem, your top 3. Now Matt Robinson in there, Simon Madsen, Richard Mills, Eric Jeffers, Brennan Hayes, Alex Forget, Berube, and Matt Parasini. That is your top 10.
Good opportunity for some stage points for the number 1 of Matthew Robinson for sure.
Oh, he definitely needs it, and it is a he's been battling up at the front all day long, so good run for him as we start to see some contact being made. We may have a little bit of a 3-wide battle coming out of the corner there. I think that is the 5, the 24, and the 19. All trying to battle now. With this lap and 1 more until the break.
Matthew Robinson needs as many of these stage points as he can get. He's sitting in 15th spots in the chase.
Yeah, this action towards the back is fierce. Oh, contact between the 5. He's coming back up. He saves it. So does the 24. No caution. Still 3 wide. The 12 stuck in the middle here. Now he works his way behind the 40 of Brendan Hayes. Lap 33 is here.
Caution will fly at the end of this lap.
Yep, we are racing basically to the end of this lap. And Jordan Booth is out front. Are we going to try to see a run from Corey Bunch? We're not sure. The draft is there. The 41's trying to break it. Here we go, diving into turn 3. I don't think that 77 is going to get there, but the battle is on for that 10th place spot. Jacob Musso, Matt Parasini, I believe it is going to go to Matt Parasini.
Yeah, there was some contact there with the 40.
There was. There is your stage.
All right.
Jordan Booth with the win.
All right, good win of the stage by Jordan Booth. Corey Bunch there in second. Tyra Lem in third. Matt Robinson. I think it may have been Matt Robinson in third, and Tyra Lem. We'll just we'll figure it out when the points are awarded. But good battles on the track amongst these guys.
Absolutely. It's been a fun battle up at the front and throughout the entire field. So pit road now going to be open, and we're going to see all these cars make their way down pit road.
Yep, expecting to see a full fuel and 4 tire stops for all. And you know, for those who may have had some damage or got into some close calls with others, probably a good time to get a little bit of that damage repaired as much as you can.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll leave it side by side so you can see them come down onto pit road. We'll be right back.
ACE HTI provides commercial smart security systems, audiovisual solutions, TV mounting and installation, access control, and surveillance systems. In addition, our networking division can provide business networking and Wi-Fi solutions. All these systems can be remotely managed through our ACE HTI applications and cloud-based solutions. Running a business these days is a tough and demanding job. Let the folks at ACE HTI ensure that your place of business is safe for your workers and your company assets. ACE HTI can offer you integrated burglar alarm systems, access control and health, and wellness systems to ensure the safety of your employees and visitors. If you are looking to modernize or purchase a new fire alarm system, look no further than ACE HTI. We can offer you the latest state-of-the-art solutions to keep watch over your business. Does your surveillance system need a refresh? ACE HTI can install the latest 4K surveillance cameras with custom analytics and AI to help you understand what's happening in and around your business. Are you a restaurant or hospitality venue? Does your facility host sporting events? Reach out to ACE HTI for the latest in video displays and audio systems to enhance and define your place of business. ACE HTI service area includes both North and South Carolina. Reach out to us today at 336-941-3171 or via email at info@ace-hti.com.
All right, welcome back to the IWM broadcast of the Firecracker Casino 200 here at Michigan, lap 36. Just had our first stage break, well, our only stage break, and that was won by Jordan Booth, followed by Corey Bunch and Tyler Lem. Lights will be off on the pace car this time by, and we'll get this back underway. So, John, so far, we'll recap some good racing. Some spicy racing going on pretty early.
Definitely some spicy racing for sure, and we'll see that continue into the evening. I believe it's going to stay no matter what, just because the stakes are high. People need to win, want to further their playoff battles and playoff contention, so we'll see what happens.
All right, Jordan Booth is the control car. He's elected to take the outside line. He's got the 77 to his inside. As the drivers make their way back towards the start-finish line.
Here we go. Pace car dips down. Gonna see this field launch back up here. Jordan Booth, Corey Bunch, green flag in the air. We are back underway here at Michigan International Speedway.
You know, I was surprised that Jordan didn't maybe take advantage of the position he was in and maybe try to get a little bit of that front end damage banged out, but maybe it's just really not bothering him as much as we thought it might.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree.
All right, so once that stage break is out of the way, now it's basically you got 62 laps to battle here for the win.
And I think the battle is going to keep on getting more and more intense as this race goes on. As you see, the 90, or excuse me, that is the 40 and the 41 up there.
Yeah, they hooked up. That's teammates there, those purple cars catching back up together.
See the the 17, the 99 right there as well. Or 77, excuse me, and the 99. Push coming there, and entering the picture is the 19 of Mr. Alex Forget-Berube.
Yeah, we've seen some sparks fly with some contact and maybe a
cars
few.
spinning in the back. Sorry, Rick.
There's caution's going to come out for sure.
Yep, there was a car. I think it was that
Austin Walton.
Car.
Yep.
I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and
it's like Martin Pinnell, Vince Burns also involved.
I think it started in the entry to 1.
Oh. Replay. So there's, I'm going to back it up just a little bit to the 55 here and just try to take it up a little bit. So nose to tail, 42, 55, 20. So the 20 backs up out of the throttle because of the 17. Unfortunately, that accordions the entire field behind him. 42 is Japs. He tries to get out of the 20th. He survives, but the 17 is definitely sideways. 55 is running down the safer barrier. The 20 gets unfortunately tangled. 17 has some more contact. 13 involved. That's Nick Alves. Other drivers try to get by, and most do, but unfortunately, Pinnell, Burns, and Walton all involved.
That is an unfortunate incident there for those cars and drivers.
Yeah, I don't think there was a ton of damage. It wasn't like someone was upside down, but you can see that the 17's right side's got some pretty good scrapes. Left side's not doing much better. Nose is a little crumpled in, so he will have some work for the iRacing pit crew ferries to fix.
Yeah, the ferries. Leprechauns.
Trolls.
We got them all. We got them all here on iRacing. They fix everything.
XLI guys are both right there up front, and they peel out. They came in. Again, this goes back to our earlier conversations about when you pit here. We just saw that that incident unfold around lap 35. I'm sorry, around lap 40. A lot of guys didn't come in. In fact, the 16 drivers out of our 29 chose not to come in.
That is pretty interesting from a strategy play. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work out.
Who did come in was the 41 of Jordan Booth. And looks like he may have gotten that nose hammered back out. His teammate.
That's a good thing.
Yep, his teammate also came in. But that is going to put those guys back in 19th. So they'll be back in the middle to the back of the pack and have to work their way back up. Plenty of time with 58 laps to go, but further on back you are, we talked about this at the beginning, the more opportunity for errors to occur, maybe not even of your own doing.
Absolutely. Spot on. We'll see how this shapes out as pace car just got the lights turned off, which means we are going to go racing this time by. Look up at the front. That 24 is up there as well. So Pericini, he's been fast. Can he get something done?
Yep, this is going to put Corey Bunch up there with Tyler Lem, Matt Pericini, and Alex Forget-Berube right there. That's 4. 5 and 6, Jacob Musso and Eric Jeffers.
very curious to see how this restart is going to treat everybody, because I think you're going to start seeing, I think you could see two things. I could see where this could be a little bit more of a patient race for some, but I don't know. The racing's been wild up to this point, Rick.
I think we should go on board with Alex Fauger-Berube on this restart.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And here we go. Green flag in the air. On the bottom line, he sees that the 24 is still right there, going to try to side draft and may lose that position, but that 12 is just now closing in on his outside, so
yeah, he's fallen back some spots,
which he might just be riding around.
Yeah, we've seen Alex do that before. It's just, you know, the only time it really matters is at the very end of the race, so he's often back there just kind of keep it on. But up front, Tyler Lamb and Corey Bunch are battling to lead these laps.
There's a lot on the line for some of these drivers tonight, so.
Man, these guys are really slippery out there. What's the weather? Let's get the weather information back up. So track temp is 96 degrees, about 20 degrees warmer than the ambient air temp. There's also a little bit of wind, 10 miles per hour.
That will definitely have a headwind or a tailwind. Depending on the direction, you know, will affect these cars. That is how sensitive the sim is, so we'll see how that plays out as this race unfolds.
Now, Michigan's one of those few tracks where actually there's a Canadian flag flying in the infield.
That is correct. That is correct. Back there.
Proximity to the Canadian border.
Yep.
Corey Bunch got a little bit of help from the 12 for a while there, but we still do not have a clear leader per se.
No, and this pack is getting ever so slightly bigger. Everybody in the back is starting to get up to the front.
Looking back, Jordan Booth is now sitting in 16th. Teammate Brendan Hayes up to 13th. They're picking up spots as they work their way back. '99 is just not patient to just sit back there. He wants this lead.
Yeah, they're battling side by side pretty intensely as this
and he'll lead that lap.
Battle goes on, absolutely.
Contact between the 12 and the 1.
Yeah, there's going to be contact for a second. There is a lot of action going on all over this racetrack right now. We'll see how this plays out. As we start to see this field slowly come together. People switching lanes just past lap 50, just about halfway through this race. At the end of this lap,
back, that's the 81 of Jordan Wenzel. But I can't take our eyes too far off the front. They're still battling to lead this race.
Yes, they are. And we saw a little bit of blink out of the 24, but looks like he was able to get back in time, and looks like that 12 is still trying to get around the 19. Alex 4J Berube. Here comes 3 wide, potentially the 24 to the inside of the 12, or is he going to give him a little bit of a shove? Not too sure.
These corners are so wide. If you can figure out just where your best run is, you can really get some great speed.
Oh, absolutely you can. Absolutely.
May have just been the angle, but it does look like there's a little bit of damage. No, it may have just been a reflection. I thought there was a little bit of damage on the nose of the 77, but I think it's just his paint.
I believe that is correct. But either way, as we are running right now, it's ever-changing top 10. You have Tyler Lett back out to the point. Matthew Robinson, Corey Bunch, Alex 4J Berube, Alex Murphy, Matt Parasini, Jeffers, Hayes, Winsel, and Musso. Joe Musso, that is. Your current top 10. That will change by the second, as we start to see this outside line become the preferred line at the current moment. And with everybody up in that outside line, we'll see if somebody tries to make it too wide. We do see that 12 trying to get alongside the 40 there. He is able to stay behind him, but now the 24 dips down. Try to help that 77 just a little bit.
He's going to need a little bit more help than that. They need at least one other car there to try and make it happen, but no one's staying in a consistent lane. I'm going to just run the high line, or I'm going to dip it around. They're all working their way up and around here at Michigan. So we all pitted last. No, I say that. We did not all pit. About half the field pit last on lap 35. Just a few drivers pitted on lap 41. So at lap 35, that's going to be 26. We should be looking for something around lap 60.
Yeah, it'll be coming soon. And it looks like this 99 has been getting tight at the end of runs, because the 77 looks like he is about to secure that pass for the lead. Is he going to come up in front of the 99? No, he does not. At the line, 99 noses ahead as they make their way down into turn 1. Now the battle is heating up quite a bit. That 30.
Yeah, Alex Murphy. Yeah, he's now joined into the party.
And they are 3 wide. Oh, a little bit of a hip check there. 3 wide still as they make their way through the backstretch. 40, the 30, and the 19 all there. And I think the 77 is in fact going to clear the 99 this time by new leader Corey Bunch at the line, as we are 3 by 3 here. Well, we were. But we were. Actually, no, we're still 3 by 3 again here at Michigan. And this is what I'm nervous out of turn 2. Cars sliding up, cars getting loose, cars slowing down. Are we able to keep these cars all going in the right direction? It looks like we are.
Oh, contact with the 24.
Just a little bit.
Brendan Hayes now up to 8th. Jordan Booth up to 10th. They have begun to close that gap and work their way up through that traffic. Corey Bunch continues to lead. Tyro Lem and Matthew Robinson battling for second. But don't blink, because things change that quickly here at Michigan.
Got some major side drafting on through the back of this pack. As the clouds are slowly rolling over Michigan. Coming a slightly more overcast day here. And pit stops should be coming fairly soon. I would roughly estimate, I mean, they got to come down within the next couple laps.
You would think so.
Pushing. Yeah, you would think.
And that's going to allow the 40XLI guys to vault their way up to the front.
I think we had a couple laps, of course, with caution, under caution. So that could be attributing to this, but I expect them to make pit stops here in the next 2 laps. That is going to be your front 4. Bunch, Robinson, Berube, Lem, also Piercini, Murphy, Jeffers, and Winsel. Richard Mills, Jacob Mousseau, Joe Mousseau, Giroux, Bostic, Fitting, and Whitley. Dan Hughes is on pit road as we speak.
Yep, after this this stop, they should have one more stop to finish this event.
And I'm very curious, for those drivers who pit on lap 41, it's going to be advantageous. And I think we just got word, I think the 99 is coming down pit road this time by. We have to keep an eye out on that 99, see if he does make his way down. I think the 41 is also contact. Yep, we didn't communicate. There wasn't communication as we got cars sliding through the field. Not sure who that was. I believe that is Jacob Mousseau. Oh boy.
We stayed green. We survived it. The 99's probably going to have a little bit of rear end damage because he was giving a little bump there.
Just a little bit. And that's why it's important to let people know when you're coming down pit road. Looks like we have some takers this time by.
Don't see any damage on the tail of the 99.
We have a lot of chatter going on.
I bet we do.
I can't hear it, but I see a lot of drivers keying up, so we'll see what happens as this field now has separated. This is going to be the test. They separated. What's going to happen? Is that backpack of cars that is about 10 cars deep going to make a run? Or are these 3 cars going to drive away? Right now they're in 3 different lines, so that really can't happen. I did see some drivers key up. Are we going to see anybody on pit road this time by? I don't see anybody yet. Nobody yet. And no, we are still going. We are almost going to push 30 laps, which raises the question, Rick. With those drivers who pit on lap 41, will they be good to go to the end of the race after this next stop?
Good question. Yeah, they could be. Well, what the wild card is always, when a caution flag flies, are you saving fuel? What are you doing in the car to help stretch that out? A lot of these guys are very savvy, and they're turning off their engines, they're popping the clutch, they're doing everything they can under caution to save fuel.
Yeah, so that may play a big part in this as we start to see this field slowly getting closer to these leaders, inch by inch, but it's slowly happening.
We've talked to Corey Bunch before. We know he's been a fabulous fuel saver when he needed to. But how much can he save? Now we are on lap 65 here. He pitted last on lap 35, so that's 30 laps. But we did have a caution, right? At least one caution since lap 32.
It's going to be interesting. I think this strategy is going to play out, obviously, and also the track. We're starting to get some cloud cover, at least in 1 and 2, so that'll play a little bit of a factor in the heat of these tires and all of that jazz. So we'll see. I'm looking right now. The field has separated pretty severely. Who's going to come down pit road? I see a lot of drivers keying up, but I haven't seen anybody. Oh, we do have one guy coming down pit road. I believe that is Richard Mills, the 5 of Richard Mills coming down pit road.
So we had
as well as Martin Giroux.
So we had a caution on lap 40. So after the lap 35, we went back to race. After caution at lap 34, went back to racing lap 37. Caution again at lap 40. Back to green flag racing lap 43. So they had about 6 laps under caution.
Yeah, they can extend this a little bit.
Yeah. But now, here we go. Number of drivers on pit road. Matt Parasini, Corey Bunch, Jacob Musso, Matt Robinson, Corey Ennis, Joe Musso, Alex Murphy, and Jordan Wenzel all on pit road or headed out. And these are our full 4 tires and fuel stops for these drivers. Now, what does that do? That puts those guys who pitted on lap 41 up front. The only driver who's still out who pitted on lap 35 is Ty Bostic. The only driver. What's Ty got up his sleeve that he is still out there with those drivers who pitted last on lap 41? I'm guessing.
Your guess is as good as mine.
I'm guessing he's coming down next time by.
I feel like he's going to have to.
Yep, there you go.
And here he comes. Yep.
All right, that puts Ty Bostic in on pit road as well as Martin Pinnell and Vince Burns, leaving, let's go up front, with Brendan Hayes and Jordan Booth running up front. The way this field has split up a bit, you've got a number of drivers who went in under green flag conditions. They have wound up a lap down. That will all change eventually if it plays out when this next group of drivers goes in. Now, at this point, lap 71, next stop, you're good.
Absolutely. You are good to go to the end of the race.
But that puts 8 drivers, 7 drivers who still need to pit. Hayes, Booth, Broadbeck, Alves, Japs, Thomas, Franz, and Madgen. Oh, and here we go. Brendan Hayes on pit road. And Bostic coming down again.
Black flag, speeding.
Oh, so he's serving a penalty.
Just saw that.
That's unfortunate.
Hate to see it. Hate to see that. Right now, Rick, with 27 to go, we got another extended stop. Oh, I thought that was an extended stop. I was like, whoa, what's going on there?
No, 4-tire stop for the 41 of Jordan Booth. Alex Forget-Berube also on pit road. This will be the last round of pit stops. But that is going to put Jordan Booth coming out somewhere top 10, 11. So he'll have his work cut out for him. Now, so where is everybody at? Guess who's up at the front?
Mr. Alex Forget-Berube by 1.3 seconds. Decent gap.
Yep, with 25 or so laps to go. Countdown begins for the 19. Now right behind him, well, not quite right behind him, but nearby, in the same vicinity, same zip code, Corey Bunch is right there. Matt Robinson, the Musos, Jacob and Joe back-to-back, sitting 4th and 5th. And then Brandon Hayes sitting in 6th. Watching the Musos, the 28 and the 25, work their way around. They've got that purple People Eater car sitting right on their tail, driven by Brendan Hayes.
And looking at where this field is, I mean, the 25 is about 4 seconds back and actually losing time to the leader. So this might actually work in the favor of the 19 fairly well. We'll have to see, but I mean, this could be, I don't say an interminable gap, but who knows?
It can only catch up just so far.
Exactly. I mean, we still have a lot of racing left, 25 laps, but until there's a little bit more orderly fashion to this pack, that 19 is pulling away.
Way back up front is the 19 of Alex Forget-Berube. Let's try to get a better shot. Just look at a different camera angle here. Something that kind of give us some perspective. We go all the way out to our blimp view. He has got nobody around him. He's just got clean air, and he continues to extend.
Exactly, he does.
Look at that. If you didn't know better, the track is empty. It's got
Yeah, really. And this gap, it is increasing, Rick. I'm unless my
no,
numbers
Corey,
are
let's
way
go
off.
back. Corey Bunch is 2.2. Of course, he's got no help. That's the problem right there, John. There's nobody to help these guys out. So Corey Bunch by himself, he's coming in.
Oh, Corey Bunch coming down pit road. I don't see any penalties. Can he make it to the end? I don't know. Oh, man. Well, that just completely changed the complexion of this race.
We can watch and see just what happened here. Maybe he didn't get fuel in. We got tire changing going on.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Right sides. I don't understand that, but I think that unfortunately with just 20 laps to go, that may be the end of Corey Bunch.
that might be, unless we have a caution. Anything can happen, you know.
There's your leader right there. All right, back up front, Alex Forget-Ruby, and he's got a 4 3/4 second gap over second place Jordan Booth, third place Brendan Hayes. Now Richard Mills in the 5 on pit road. Number of drivers. Something must have been wrong with our calculations, John. There definitely is a lot of guys coming down pit road.
I agree. I don't know how, but I'm kind of shocked. I actually thought they could go a little bit longer, but hey, we stand corrected.
$19 laps to go here. Well, great race. This is one of those events, John, where it certainly comes down to these guys and their strategy. And I'll give it to Alex Forget-Ruby. He's figured out a way to show up here at the end and really set himself aside. Now, of course, the gap is closing a bit between himself and Jordan Booth, currently in second. And again, we'll keep an eye on Corey Bunch. Corey is the last car on the lead lap.
I'm very curious to see how this is going to work out, because that gap is closing, but it's still a pretty large gap.
3.4, just under 3.5 seconds between first place Alex Forget-Ruby and Jordan Booth. Both of these drivers pitted close to the same time, but Jordan Booth and Brendan Hayes both came down lap 72 and got 4 tires and fuel. So there is a little bit of difference, not much, about 3 laps or so of fresher tires amongst these competitors. Will that play a difference? Will that make a difference? Don't know. We'll have to stay tuned and watch. That's the 43 that's out there. 43 is involved in some earlier incidents, I thought. That's Garrett Walden. And he is about to get knocked off by the leader. 16 laps to go, just over 3 seconds between first, second, and third.
Looks like we have some other drivers on pit road. Corey Ennis, Jacob Musso, and Joe Musso all on pit road.
Yep.
This has been an interesting race. I wasn't expecting this to happen, but we do have some takers now on pit road. So Ron Fitting, Dan Hughes, Richard Mills, Corey Bunch, do they know something that we don't know? As of right now, yes. The answer is yes. There is something that we are not picking up here, but we're green flag racing. Nearing the end of this race. And that gap is now 2.5 seconds.
Yep, that gap has continued to chip away. Now 14 laps to go. They, that phrase. So you're saying there's a chance.
Yes.
So
there is a chance.
There is a chance.
And, chances happen.
Yep.
And they come and go. And right now, I think there's a big game of chance happening right now with these leaders. I mean, looking at this, with all these drivers coming down again, you just have Matt Parasini coming down. I mean, could they just be using that much more fuel when they're single file like this?
Let's go on board again with Alex Forget Berube and see just if he's doing anything to save fuel.
Fourth gear, probably going to be shifted. Let's see if he clutches in at the corner. Pretty normal line. Nothing too crazy.
Super smooth with his hands. Yeah, no real attempt, John, to save any fuel.
None.
That gap is now down to sub 2 seconds. And he may be able to see them in his rear view mirror.
Oh yeah, they're going to get there. But when? When is the question.
Farther back, that's Matthew Robinson. Jumping back, Nick Alves. The field is kind of spread apart in these little clusters of drivers because when you have green flag pit stops like we had, everything gets broken apart. This is the most competitive pack going on right now. You've got the 67, the 28, 25, 41, and the 40. Now, those drivers that are the 25 and the 28, they're actually at the tail end of the field.
Interesting. So this is going to be a little bit of a wild battle here to the end. Looking at lap times, Forget is running about a 10th off what Booth is running.
Yeah, we can bring up that last time.
Because they're there. It's going to happen. They're going to catch him. Just a matter of when. And that big pack behind that 19 is
don't count on Nick Alves.
Position.
He's 39.8 last time by.
Exactly. And here comes that 77 of Corey Bunch to the inside of that 19 again.
Corey Bunch currently scored in 14th position.
That is not for position right there. You got to keep that in mind. Or excuse me, that was not.
Nope. So up front, your leader is now encountering a good bit of lap traffic. That's the 5 of Richard Mills. He is the last car on the lead lap.
Yep, I meant to say the 67, excuse me. So the 67, the 28, the 25, and the 5 just got by the leader. So we're seeing the 94 now behind the 19, and that gap is closed down to 1.1 seconds with just 7 laps to go here at Michigan.
7 laps to go. It's closing fast.
Very fast. Very, very fast.
Let's go on board with Jordan Hayes, see what he sees. Right now he sees a bumper full of the 94. I mean, he absolutely has got to know that he's under a second. He's got to catch up or he's not going to make a difference.
Absolutely. You're correct. Entirely correct. So we'll
Pressure's
see now
on.
5 to go.
Yep, pressure's on the 41 of Jordan Booth. He's got just 5 laps to go. He's got to close by 1 second to try and chase down Alex Forget-Berube. These two have had some history this season. I'm curious to see if this becomes pushed, comes to shove, door to door, bumper to bumper, how this race is going to finish.
It's gonna come down to the wire. That gap is closing. Oh, is the 19 coming down pit road?
19 is on pit road.
Oh boy, well, he couldn't make it to the end. Well,
So much for that. That changes everything.
72 laps is when Jordan Booth came in, or that was lap 72. Brendan Hayes, lap 71. Broadbeck, lap 72. This might get interesting. Corey Bunch might be the best one out of this one, and he's about 7 seconds ahead of everybody else who still needs to come down pit road, Rick. This could be Corey Bunch's race.
I'm completely confused on the fuel mileage, but you're correct. Corey Bunch, Alex Forget-Berube did come down, splash and gas. He's back out on the track.
I mean, mathematically, unless these guys think they can save 3 laps of gas, something tells me, I mean, the 55 just came down pit road.
Yep, Vince Burns. Are they doing anything? Let's go ahead and not get on board with Brendan Hayes.
There's some battling side by side. I think it's all out the window now. They're trying to go with 2 laps to go.
It's game on.
I mean, everybody in front of this 77 car hit on lap 70, 71, or 72. And, I mean, I would be... I don't know. My math is just... The math is not mathing right now, Rick.
Yep.
It's really not. So, we'll see. I'm looking to see if anybody's
2 laps to go.
Off pace. I see the 77 just queued up. I don't know what he said. I don't know if he's listening. But still 24.5 seconds back with 2 laps to go. They're cycling out of turn 4 right now. We are about to get the white flag. 1 lap to go.
40 XLI guys side by side. Can this be a 1-2 finish for Brendan Hayes and Jordan Booth?
It looks like it will be. The 43's not battling for anything. He's actually, in a way, they're battling side by, got contact. Teammates side by side.
Yep.
Oh boy, are we going to have
a
wreck?
Yeah, those 2 guys that are there with them, they're not there for position.
But the 43 is going to give a little bit of help to the 41. The 43 is helping the 41. Who's going to win at the line? Brendan Hayes wins.
Contact amongst those teammates. That's the...
Or is it Jordan Booth?
Jordan Booth gets the win, I think.
Oh, boy.
Let's go back to that checkered flag and slow that down.
It was Jordan Booth. That's correct. The 40 was on the inside. I got the cars mixed up. The 43 was on the inside. You could see it right here.
Yeah, 40 to the inside, 41 to the outside.
You would think the 43 would be giving the 40 a bigger shove just due to the aero push, you know? But here they come to the line, side by side. The 40 moves up the track, tries to get into the 41, his teammate. That's not going to do it. Gets into him again at the line, and there it is, 41. Barely finishes ahead of the 40, Brendan Hayes.
By half a nose.
Jordan Booth back in victory circle. Well, that 10 car coming in third, Vernon Broadbeck. That is your top 3.
Looks that way. Well, there's the 40 celebrating his victory as soon as we get results in. Oh, and they're in.
All right, here we go. Your finishing order for tonight's Firecracker Casino 200 presented by the iNASCAR Racing Series. Jordan Booth comes out on top with Brendan Hayes in second, Vernon Broadbeck in third, Tony Japson in fourth, Nick Alves in fifth, Clark Franz in sixth, Simon Madgen in seventh, Corey Bunch in eighth, Scott Thomas in ninth, and Alex Forte Ruby in 10th.
In 11th, Corey Ennis, Joe Musso and Jacob Musso, 12th and 13th. Richard Mills in 14th. Jordan Wenzel finishes in 15th. Eric Jefferson 16th. Michael Whitley Jr. in 17th. And 18th, you've got Martin Giroux, 19th, Ron Fitting, and 20th, Ty Bostic.
In 21st, you have Alex Murphy. In 22nd, Dan Hughes. 23rd, Mark Pinnell. 24th, Vince Burns. 25th, Matt Perusini. Tough break for the 24. Austin Walton in 26th. Tyler Lemon, 27th. Matt Robinson in 28th. And Garrett Walden in 29th.
All right, let's see what we got. Oh, and our guys are here. Let's bring in the winner. The third place finisher, Vernon Broadbeck. Vernon, congratulations on your P3 finish.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we love this track, and you guys certainly were boggling our math skills because we could not figure out for the life of us fuel mileage. It was killing us.
So we were, I think, pushing and just like racing. It was like 28 laps to a tank. But I think when I come down lap 42, I was like, I'm making a one-stop race from here. So I just stayed in fifth gear for a long time, and then I got to a good number, and I went fourth gear to try to make up some track position, and then I wanted to come down lap 72, come to 73, and we made it to that number, and then I was good to go till the end.
Yeah, pretty much the three of you, Hayes, Booth, and yourself, all pit around that lap 71, 72 mark, and that was certainly a differentiator.
Yeah, absolutely. That was pretty awesome. I was glad there weren't a lot of people that went on to that strategy, and I'm glad we went green too, because that definitely saved us.
Absolutely. Well, any shout-outs tonight?
Yeah, teammates, Roadrunner Motorsports. Clark finished sixth, so he had a great run. He was on the same strategy. Vince, not quite as good of a run. I know he got up into an accident, and his damage kind of hurt him, so he wasn't quite able to stay up the pace and keep the strategy that we were up to, so that's unfortunate for him. But Josh and Scott for putting on another great week in the league following the Cup Series. I think we did a phenomenal job between everybody on the racetrack. There was a lot of good action throughout all of it.
Yep, absolutely. Good race.
You guys for putting on an awesome show again. Week after week, you guys do a phenomenal job. And then the Hot Lap, where we talk about the iNRS and the recap and looking into the next week with host Clark Brands, myself, Tony Japs, and Corey Bunch as guys to kind of break down what we saw during the race. So, shout out to the Hot Lap as well.
Well, this should be a very interesting show to catch on their podcast. So, all right, there's your third place finisher, Mr. Vernon Broadbeck, and congratulations. Let's bring in our second place finisher. I'm not sure we should bring them in individually or just put them both in here. We'll just play it by ear here.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, congratulations, Brendan Hayes. Heck of a race tonight. We were just talking to Vernon, trying to figure out the fuel strategy. You guys had it nailed.
Yeah, I got to give it to Jordan on that one. He was the one that made the call to come down pit road on that last caution, because we had a feeling that it was going to go green to the end, and we knew that we were going to have to save fuel, so we were just like, you know what, we're just going to go for it, try and make the one stop work, and it barely worked. I ran out of gas going down the backstretch after the checker, so it was close.
Yep, no, that was perfect though. Great race, you guys. There were a number of times that you guys took the gamble. You saw that caution came out. You went in. You got fuel and tires, even though it put you back in 19th, and you battled back up to the front. That's the hardest thing to do in iRacing, in my opinion. You're up front, you're running hard, and then you get back, and now you're in the thick of things, trying to work your way back up and stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I had already had to work my way up from the back once before, so I had confidence I could do it again. And me and Jordan could work together. He could give me some draft as we went down straight so it'd make it a little bit easier, because if you didn't have anyone to help you, you just got freight train on that outside. So it was like a mixture of Daytona and a mile and a half race. So it was tough, but and also just trying not to burn your tires in that dirty air. So that right front was screaming by the time we came down pit road. But yeah, it all came down to just managing it and making the right choices with which line you take in the corner, and teammates just working together.
Well, and this kind of sets you guys up next week. You mentioned Daytona. That's where we're headed to for next week.
Yeah, we look forward to it. We usually do pretty good on the super speedways, so I don't expect anything less than running up front and hopefully dominating that race.
Well, congratulations on your second place finish, and certainly this is going to help 40XLI point wise when it comes to the team championship for certain.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Finally. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you. Finally.
Well, that voice is Jordan Booth as he's entered the broadcast booth. Congratulations, Jordan, on your win. Well, we have been marveling at the pit stop strategy that y'all demonstrated tonight.
Yeah, we had that caution, and we would have had about 58 to go whenever we went green, and it was kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, we can save this, make it on one stop. So it was kind of a no-brainer to pit there. I was able to stay out one lap longer than Brendan on the next kind of, green flag run, which I think helped me a little bit to push harder and get in front of him early on in that second run. And then, man, those last 3 laps, are you not entertained? Because I'm entertained. That was a blast.
Yeah, no, we absolutely enjoyed it. The challenge was, you guys got, you wound up with some lap traffic there as well, which played to your advantage as well. So, as you guys began to chase down Alex, we weren't sure just how much fuel Alex had in his tank. Obviously, it was not enough. That forced him to come back down onto pit road, and that put you guys in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I mean, we knew we were close, so it was kind of like there's no way he makes it, especially with the lap times he was running early on in the stint and then towards the end as well. If a caution would have came out, he would have been sitting pretty because we all would have had to pit.
Yep.
But, I mean, I couldn't get out strategized 2 times in a row. We messed up at Pocono, finished second. I wasn't going to finish second this time, unless it was to Brendan. But, it was good to see the strategy work out. And then the lap cars were cool. Garrett was yelling at us he was going to help Brendan beat me, and I was like, no, don't do it. And he tried. But it made those last 3 laps so much fun. I can't overstate how much fun that was. I mean, I don't know how many more guys, other than Brendan, could race side by side like that, lean on each other, but at the end of the day, finish, 100th apart.
That was awesome. Well, again, congratulations on your win. Shout-outs for tonight?
Yeah, we recently opened up the 40XLI Driver Academy, and tonight was a pretty good showing for that. So, I mean, if you guys are struggling on iRacing a little bit and want to get better, I'll sit down with you. We go anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour and really work with you to get you, running where you want to run. Definitely Brendan. I can't state how much fun that was. I mean, that was a blast. You guys are probably tired of me saying it, but it was so much fun.
We enjoyed it, and you could tell you guys had a lot of fun. We don't get to hear the driver chatter, which is probably a good thing. But for the most part, I'm sure you guys had a blast.
Oh yeah, it was blasted. Probably right. Probably good for the most part. That's not put over air, but I mean. It was good to see, mostly clean racing all day. I'm not sure what happened at the start, but it gave me a good baseball-sized, dent in the front. I'm still not sure whose fault that was. If it was my fault, I'll apologize to Michael Whitley. I didn't think it was, but couldn't really tell. But then always Josh, helping us put on a good show, putting up this league, and then you guys. I'm sure that last 3 laps was pretty exciting on the broadcast end too. So, we'll look forward to Daytona, and hopefully you'll see the purple cars back out front.
Sounds great. All right, there's your winner, Jordan Booth. Second with Brendan Hayes. Werner Broadback takes the other podium spot here at Michigan in the Firecracker Casino 200. Thank you for tuning in tonight to the IWM Broadcast Network. We'll see you next week here with the iNRS Racing Series. We will be at Daytona for that classic race here. So, John, any parting words tonight?
Just want to say congrats to Jordan, Brendan on a great finish there, and make sure to tune in next week as we're going to be at the high banks of Daytona. Always a fun race, and that is the second race until the playoffs start. So it's a wild card race, and I think here's the thing. So drivers at that race may even be racing more aggressive because they may not like Darlington that much. So, which is the following race. So people may be a little bit more aggressive than typical. So you definitely want to tune in next week for that.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in again to the IWM Broadcast Network. We hope you've enjoyed our presentation tonight, and look to see you next week.
See you next week.
All right. Good night, folks.